YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Jamera and I was recently diagnosed with schizophrenia. So I've come here to tell my story. A little backstory about me is I was passed around as a kid. My mom was a drug addict, so she wanted the best for us, so she left us with people who she thought could care for us better than her. But we ended up being beaten by those people and tormented by other kids. So I think that's where my schizophrenia comes from trauma. Now let me read what schizophrenia is so you guys have a little bit of knowledge. I myself don't know much about schizophrenia. I was recently diagnosed, so I'm learning as well. But schizophrenia is a long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality and personal relationships into fantasy and delusion, and sense of mental fragmentation. So, with schizophrenia, schizophrenia is common, more than 200,000 U.S. cases per year. Treatment can help, but the condition can't be cured and it's chronic. It can last for years or a lifetime. It requires a mental diagnosis, so I was diagnosed back in February. I didn't believe it. This is like my 8th time trying to record this video, so please bear with me. But I was diagnosed back in February. I didn't believe it then. I was released from the hospital and put on Zoloft, which is depression meds, and I was misdiagnosed and they said I had borderline personality disorder. Little did they know I was in an episode. I was in the hospital for 10 days that time. During that episode, the first episode I had, I was hearing my mom talk about me. I was hearing everyone around me talk about me, and I was just feeling down. I was crying all the time. I was blaring my music in my room, and I ended up staying up for days straight, and that's what led to my episode. I started walking down the street to go get my son. For those of you who don't know, I have a 2-year-old. His name is Carter. If you watch my other videos, you know. I was walking down the street to get him, and I ended up stopping at this doctor's office, which my mom had an appointment at later that day, and I started having an episode. I started telling them my mom was coming, she was going to follow me, but she was not following me. She didn't know that I had left even, and I was hearing voices telling me my mom was evil and that I was evil. And I started to believe them, so I started crying and walking down the street. I was then placed in an ambulance and brought into the mental hospital, where I stayed for 10 days. After those 10 days, I got out, and I've been living my life fine since February up until September of this year. So a few months ago, I had another episode where my boyfriend wouldn't leave, so I smashed my phone. I punched out my window, and I was walking down the street with the dog without a leash, and he's not a trained dog, but thankfully he followed me and nothing happened to me. I was smelling out fires, so I was in a fire when I was younger, so I think that's where that comes from. I was in a fire when I was younger, and I was the only one awake to thank God, because the house probably would have burnt down with everyone inside that was sleeping. I was up cleaning with my OCD. Thankfully, and we were able to get out of the house, and we're here now. So I think that I'm afraid of fires, so I was smelling out all the fires. I was thinking that I was a firefighter at first. I thought I was a policeman at first. I thought I was FBI. I thought I could solve cases. I was just going through an episode. I stopped at my work and I was trying to check the cameras. I was stealing money. I was doing a lot of things that I would not normally have done. So a little bit of backstory about me is after that episode, I was placed in a mental hospital for 21 days, and during those days, I didn't want visitors. Some days I wanted visitors. I left myself voicemails saying that my boyfriend was selling our secrets to the government and our secrets to the enemies. He's in the military, so I was paranoid and I thought he was selling our secrets to other people because he didn't want to be in the army at the time. So I was leaving myself voicemails. I was telling my mom that I hated her. I was telling my mom that I didn't want her to see me, and I was going back and forth. So I was finally released, and I was put on Invega, which is a shot that you get in your arm that lasts for 30 days. It's coming out of my system now, and I'm choosing not to take it again because it's messed with my vision. It's made me blind, made my speech slow, made my hands stuck like this. So sometimes what it's like to live with schizophrenia is some days are hard to get up. It's hard to do anything, and sometimes I hear voices. I hear music in my head all the time. I'm constantly thinking someone's out to get me or someone's going to get me. And it makes it hard to do normal things like shower and brush my teeth. But yeah, if you guys want to know more about my story, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see next.